The importance of individuality. The importance of individuality is seen to a lot of people as spiritual, something that could be used as a scapegoat. But individuality is the uniqueness of one's person's self. So you got to realize that when you're an individual, your uniqueness makes you unique. The definition of unique, one of a kind. Nobody's made the same. It sounds like a hard task, but it's not. Individuality is you. You create yourself. Everyone will have opinions. Everyone will have different values. Everyone will have different beliefs. But everyone is unique because they are an individual. Individuality means when everybody goes right and you want to go left, you go left and you're comfortable. Individuality means when everyone says this and you says the opposite, you feel comfortable. It increases self-esteem. It makes you more confident. It makes you more of a person. It makes you believe in yourself. It makes you have hope. It makes you have faith in that which you seek to have or in that which you seek to overcome. It could be psychological. It could be physical. It could be a relationship. Individuality is uniqueness. Never allow anyone to bring you down. Never, because you are unique. You can't expect to see an Asian in a European. You can't expect to see Arabic features on a Native American. Everybody has that own sense of being, their own sense of purpose. Individuality. You must understand, it is necessary for you to grasp hold and understand that you are a unique individual, that you are important, that you are worth the fight. You must wake up every day and tell yourself over and over and over again until it's repetitious, just as like breathing, that you are a unique individual. Individuality. You hear the power in that? Individuality. It's a very strong word. It's also a statement. It's also a phrase. It's also a lifestyle. Individuality. When you come across things in life, a lot of people implicate, they judge, they predict. And a lot of things in the world teach us to follow those, to worry about, to stress ourselves, to become a part of other people's opinions, value systems, religious beliefs, what have you, that are pressed upon us. That's why a lot of people wear a fake smile, a mask, and on the inside they really hurting. We hear it all too well in American history and across the globe of the person, the sad clown, the person who wore the smile on the outside, but on the inside we're dying because we are taught to stress ourselves on others' opinions and values and beliefs and how they see us and how we should be. That's incorrect. You got to unlearn what was taught to you. You have to unlearn it. If you don't, you will always succumb to other people's opinions, other people's values, and other people's beliefs. Unique individuality comes from within, from your soul, knowing who you are, understanding your position in life, wanting to know exactly who it is that you are. A lot of people go through life and never come close to even understanding an inkling of who they really are or where their position in life really was. But you can. You can do it today. As a matter of fact, you can do it right now. Starting today, I want you to understand that you are a unique individual. I want you to understand that that next step you take will be that stride that will take you over the finish line. I need you to understand and to believe that today, everything that you want, you can have. You have to grab it. It's in front of you. You have to reach out there and you have to grab it. You have to take that first step and realize that you are a unique individual, that you are a unique individual. Again, you are a unique individual. And you must keep it with you. Safekeeping. understanding values and principles. Now, understanding values and principles, that's, how can I say it? How can I put it to you? It's difficult. And I'll explain a little why it's so difficult, why it's so confusing, why it's so enigmatical in process. Values and principles are based off of taught teachings as you grow up, what you're introduced to, what you're not introduced to, what you're confused about, what you know the answers to. See, values and principles are bases of home structures, to a lot of people, culture, lifestyle, right? So you got to ask yourself, what really is a value? And what really is a principle? And what's the difference? Right. A value is something that you hold dear. You value your children. You give up your life for your children at a moment's notice. I know any parent would. I know I would. I have two beautiful daughters and a handsome son. So I would put my life first. That's core rooted to my soul. That's a value. What's a principle? I don't like when females with a lot of weight wear clothes that's too small. That's a principle. It's not a value. See, a lot of times we misconstrue what a value and a principle is due to the lack of understanding of what a value and a principle is and what's the difference and how are they the same in some ways. That's why I said it's a rather confusing topic, but definitely something that we need to touch on. So again, values are something that's core rooted, something that you'll go all out for. Principles, now see, this is where the conflict come in, because principles can change based upon the situation or circumstances that you are faced with. Sometimes it's courageous, it's bold to be on the front line, to make the first move, the first step, to get things going rather. And then sometimes it's best to play in the back. It's best to watch. Let somebody else lead for a change. See how things go. See, those are principles. They conflict with values because they change. And when you don't know emotions, the true understanding of emotions, then you'll never be able to decipher a value from a principle. Now, you have to be able to have some kind of understanding of values and principles and what makes them different and the same to understand the previous topic of individuality. Once you understand individuality, you can then start to implicate values and principles. And it will lead you to an ascension, to another level of you. Not another person, but a level of you. You have to take the time, the structure, to gain the know-how to understand what a principle is and to understand what a value is. Now, we've all come into contact with principles that kind of test our values. And it's like a meal that we have to eat. So then it comes to the point of sacrifice. You hear the word sacrifice, you think it's bad. But a lot of times sacrifice is a good thing, especially when it comes to values and principles. You weigh your situation. What plays best for the outcome that you are looking for? Values and principles. How could you get to a stage to where values and principles become key components as to how you advance in life as an individual, a unique individual? Individuality, values, and principles. Where will they take us? Position. What is a position and how to find yours? A position could be an ascribed status. It could be a prescribed status. It's a hot topic right here, y'all, because position is power. I don't know if you know. I mean, I know a lot of people who know, but then there's, of course, there are a lot of people who don't know, but position is power. If you know your position, you understand that you're a unique individual. You understand the difference between values and principles. Now, what we're going to talk about today is what is a position and how to find your position. Now, we all want certain positions based off of materialistic things, prestigiousness amongst groups, affiliations, communities, crowds. Everybody has a reason. But because you want that position, doesn't mean that that's the position for you. Look at GM, for instance. A lot of people use GM as an example because it's a good business practice, but it's also a great exemplification of teamwork and people knowing their position. Now, there's a person who comes up with a blueprint for a car, inside and out. And then there are hands that put that car together. They're both just as important because without one, you wouldn't have the other, right? But everybody in that plant that puts that car together knows, okay, I'm in control of putting these amount of bolts into this frame. I'm in control of putting this part on this line, seeing that it goes in this direction. Position is power. Productivity. You can produce. No one person's out trying to do the next person because everyone has an individual job and that's what they pertain to now. So you need to use that same when you do you in life. Sometimes you want the clean car right now. It's not for you. It's not for you right now. It might not be for you at all. But don't fret, because once you know your position, all moves you make will be power moves to the greatest of their potential. Know that. So don't never believe for 1 minute that just because you're not on TV or people don't shout your name when you walk into the restaurant or you don't get 1,000 likes in 19 seconds on Facebook, that you're not important. Because everybody has a position, right? Just like Facebook. Facebook wouldn't be nothing without the people who put the content on Facebook. Teamwork. People work in teams and don't realize it. But once faced and told that they're working as a team, then that's when the conflict comes because of lack of knowing positions. A king is only as great as his army. A lot of people use that quote, but a lot of people don't understand what it actually means. A king's soldiers are the people who protect. The king doesn't even dictate. He has people who dictate. He sits on a throne. But it's the soldiers that make the castle appear dominating, godlike, right? So without the soldiers, the king would be nothing. That's why the king gives the soldiers whatever they want. Gotta understand, position is power. Position is individuality. Position is you knowing where you are supposed to be in life. We all travel down different roads. We all want to know something different. We all want to live different lives. But you got to understand the life that you're given. That position is a strong part, especially if you know. And how you find yours, what are you good at? What are you good at? We try a lot, but what are you good at? Sometimes you could be good at just spotting flaws on shoes. Sometimes you could be good at just hearing different sounds in music. You could be good at reading body language. You could be good at reading lips. You could be good at just talking to people. You could be good at just being an overall good person. But you got a position. And when you know that position, as I say, all your moves will become power moves. You'll get the results that you're looking for. You will see in life the things that you want to see. You will have the relationships that you want. And that's how you go about doing it. You have to understand your position. Position is power. Filling in the cracks. Now, filling in the cracks. It's really gonna do something to you when we talk about this one. Let me sit my notes down because this is a heavy one. I'm gonna go a little fast, but you're gonna understand me. Filling in the cracks is unlearning everything that you've always been taught from birth to now, no matter your age. Right? Everybody agree? Good. Now, what I call the cracks are the things in life that took us astray from what it was we were already on. You know how when a kid meet a person, they just laugh and they giggle, and you probably can't stand this person because of situations, but the child loves this person. That's because the child is innocent. The child hasn't learned judgment. It hasn't learned how to judge anybody. It sees pure character. That should help you as a person to be able to learn how to fill in these cracks. Now see, a lot of things we were told are backwards. They're actually backwards, and it's like, wow, how could you possibly teach me something that's supposed to help me, but it causes me to move in such a way in life to where I'm actually moving backwards. I'm gonna tell you what I mean. Education. When you learn, it becomes a process. You do it without even thinking about it, because you trust it, because you understand it, because it was taught to you in a way that you felt comfortable with it being the truth. Every time you was presented with it, it produced the same outcome, right? So you trust the process. 2 + 2 is 4. You trust the process. 2 apples, 2 apples. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you count in the process that you were taught, you will always get the same result. Now, filling in those cracks is when we leave each other open for the kill, right? We're all human. We all hurt. We all love. We all feel loneliness. We all feel sadness. We all feel triumphant. We all feel courageous. We all feel confident. We all feel a lot of different ways. We can all agree on that, I'm correct? So, filling in those cracks are the points in life when you stop being projective. When you were a child, you wanted to be a lawyer. 2 hours later, you wanted to be a doctor. The next day, and so on, every week, every month, every year, you wanted to be something different. And every time you wanted to be something different, you did it with a passion. You had to have every toy. You had to have every blanket. You had to watch all the cartoons and see all the music, right? You were projective. Now, as you got older, you were presented with situations, facets that aren't explainable. That's why they leave you confused and they take you off the track. See, because now then you get into females, you get into cars, you get into jobs, you get into prestigiousness in a neighborhood. How much money can you make? Where can you live? What color should your house be? What model should your car be? See, a lot of those things take you from being projective. Because now it's a gimme, 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 gimme. When you were a child, you were projected to the point to where you seen what was in front of you. You believed that you can achieve, up to the point to where you actually used your imagination and pretended to be that character. That is called adaptability. Now, adaptability is one thing that you need to learn in life, because adaptability will almost guarantee your survival anywhere that you go. And that's filling in those blanks. We get to a certain age and we say, oh, nah, man, I can't do that no more, man. I'm not a child. No, man, I'm not going to go there, man. I'm not a kid. Those days are over. That's when you start to lose. That's when everything becomes a burden. That's when everything about you around you starts to stress you out. Those cracks, you have to become projective. You have to take it back to the original. When you knew sky wasn't the limit. When you knew you could reach those boundaries. When you knew that you could reach out and you could put your hands on the things that you wanted the most. You knew, you believed, and you knew individuality. You were you no matter who you were around. If you wanted to smile, you smiled. If you wanted to chuckle, you chuckled. Where did that person go? That's the individuality. That's the understanding of principles and values. That's understanding what position is and how to find yours. Filling in the cracks. unlearning the myths we create. Now, myths are mystical, they're magical, they're frightening, they'll leave you bewildered. You really don't know how to understand it, right? So you go to say, step on a crack, break your mama's back, right? That's a myth. We've all stepped on cracks. We've all tried it, right? I've tried it. I'm sorry, Mom. But we've all tried it, right? Okay. Now, the myths that we create are the things that allows us to, remember when we spoke earlier about values and principles, how principles could become conflicted because they can change based on the situation or the facets that you're faced with? This is exactly a good example of what I was talking about. Now, a myth is, they won't allow me to do this. They won't allow me to do that. They won't allow me. That is a myth. That is a myth. I have yet to see a person who goes out of their way to make sure that you cannot. 99.9% of the times, we are in our own way, but it is more comfortable to our self-esteem and our well-being if we say they will not allow you. You have to unlearn that. Everybody is not your enemy. You have more friends that don't know you than you realize. But because of those, what we spoke of earlier, those values, those principles of individuality, right? And position, and knowing how to find yours and filling in the gaps, right? Filling in the cracks. That's what leads to this. The myths that take you down the road to a world you don't want to go. Now, there's a lot of ways for a person to unlearn a myth. And the first one is to realize that you've been lied to. Yeah, it sounds crazy, and we're all used to people lying to us. But you have to realize that you've been lied to. Nobody sits in the office and plots on how to keep you from having. Nobody. See, the world works through an energy. A lot of people use the word karma. It's the universal energy. If all you keep on your mind is racism, almost everything you see and hear will appear to be racist. If you keep happy thoughts on your mind all the time, almost everything you see and hear will be happy. Right? Okay. When you playing a sport and you're actually on the team and you're playing, if you think about losing or you're going to miss that shot, don't you always miss that shot? Right. But the times when you were on the floor and you was like, man, as soon as I get the ball, I'm going to make this shot. You said it so many times over and over. When I get the ball, I'm going to make this shot. That when you finally got the ball and you put it up there, you made that shot. You have to understand.
Wave Beats Music.
It's you. It's never a they. Never a they. It's a you. You have to want it. You have to want it. A myth can get you in trouble. A myth can put you in the right position. It's knowing when. It's knowing how. It's knowing what it is. See, a lot of things that we find confusing, a lot of things in life that we just choose not to deal with is because of myths. Because of myths. And it's easy to take small accountances and use them over and over and over repetitiously until that's all people see when they think of things. Like Black History Month. A lot of people talk about a lot of great African-American people who've done a lot of great things, a lot of pioneers at anthropology, right? But when you see it televised, 99.9% of the time it's violent pictures and scenery that you're shown. You're not shown the diversity, the multicultural, the melting pot of citizens that were working together and walking and marching together that were saying, no, we're not for this. They don't show you that. Some do, but a lot don't. Because when you think of racism, it's a fear tactic. There were a lot of whites, there were a lot of Europeans, there were a lot of Italians, there were a lot of people marching all together for the same rights because everybody understood that everybody's a human being and deserved the same thing. But when you see it depicted, it makes a division. It makes people want to divide. Right? Now, I'm a father of biracial children. So there's going to come a point in time where I'm going to have to explain some things. But see, it's all about how you explain. If you leave it up to your enemy to teach your children, you have failed. You have to teach yourself. You have to teach your children. Otherwise, they will walk out with the perception of things that is only in partiality, and they will not understand the truth of the outcome of what it was they were supposed to be obtaining. Right? We have to take that stance. We have to unlearn those myths. We have to unlearn that our neighbor is our enemy. We have to unlearn that the police are our enemies. We have to unlearn these things. Because if you continue to follow by the myths, you'll continue to get the same results. Now, I mean, I don't know about anybody else, but I'm tired of the results. I'm ready for a new dish of food. I don't know about you. Those myths. Yeah, the myths. If a black man put on a suit, some nice shoes, he's the police. He's an Uncle Tom. If you take care of his children, he's an Uncle Tom. When did it become popular not to take care of your children? See, it's those myths, that cause jealousy and envy, the confliction I told you again about principles, not knowing values and principles. A lot of people hold principles as values, and that's what causes the destruction. Those myths.